Welcome to Drew's View. I'm Mark Cohn, joined with FanFooey's resident handicapper, Drew Smith. Drew, how are we going to make money this week in college football?
Well, Mark, when I looked at the game Sunday morning, there are 3 road teams that I circled right away that they think they're going to be outright winners. First one, Mississippi State. They opened at a -1 point favorite at Auburn, but Wise Guys quickly ran to the window and pounded the Bulldogs in that game. Line moved to Mississippi State -6.5 by Sunday night. That's an extraordinary amount of line movement for a marquee game without a major injury. The second game was South Carolina, opened at -3 over Georgia, has stayed there all week. Not that shocking. Thought the Gamecocks might be a point or two. The third game, Notre Dame, opened at -3.5 at Michigan. Line went up to 4.5 Sunday night, has come back and settled at -3. I think we both were surprised to see Notre Dame favored in the Big House coming off their performance in South Bend last week.
Well, let's start with Auburn and Mississippi State, where Auburn comes off an incredible miracle last-second victory over Utah State. How do you see this game playing out? Mississippi State, do they just run up the score against Auburn?
Well, it was amazing last week on the Plains. Auburn gave up 38 points and 450 yards, as you noted, to a true freshman quarterback. So I can only imagine how quarterback Chris Relf and running back Vic Ballard must be licking their chops to get on and face that Tiger defense. I think Mississippi State offense will have a big day. And keep in mind, Chris Relf is a native of Alabama. By the end of this game, he might join Harvey Updike, who poisoned the trees at Toomer's Corner, as being one of Auburn's most disliked native Alabamians.
There's no way that Auburn's defense can have that bad a day again like they did against Chucky Keaton and Utah State. They needed a miracle to beat Utah State. They needed an onside kick and a last-second touchdown to beat Utah State. Mississippi State -6.5 has to be the play, right, Drew?
Well, you nailed it. Another thing, our friends over at Covers.com who do a great job tracking the action coming in these games. We noted who the Wise Guys like. Right now, it's 50% of the action on the Bulldogs, 50% on Auburn. We know the Wise Guys like Mississippi State. That means the public's backing Auburn. That makes me feel better about my pick, right? Even more.
Now let's go back to the SEC, where Georgia, after getting thumped in the second half in Atlanta against Boise, gets 3 points against South Carolina, who struggled mightily early against East Carolina before Stephen Garcia came to the rescue for Steve Spurrier and the Gamecocks. Who do you like here? Do you like the lay the 3 on the road with South Carolina, or are you thinking that Georgia, with Mark Richt on the hot seat right now, if he flashes 0-2 right now after going 6-7 last year, he could get fired Monday?
Well, Mark, I'm leaning Gamecocks. Hopefully Steve Spurrier comes to his senses and starts Stephen Garcia. Those are words I thought I would never come out of my mouth, that we would look forward to Stephen Garcia. But clearly, Mark Richt has lost 8 of his last 10 games against ranked opponents, including the last 5. And this Gamecock team is a powerful offense. I think they can get the win. Rumors in the back rooms in Las Vegas all week are that Aaron Murray, the Georgia quarterback and best player, had a rib injury. I've worked some sources in the SEC, have been unable to confirm that. Regardless, I like South Carolina laying the 3 in Athens, and the heat gets turned up even higher on Mark Richt.
Finally, we close in the Big House. Michigan getting 3 points at home against a Notre Dame team that was ill-prepared for their opening matchup against South Florida. They trailed early in the game. They changed quarterbacks at halftime, going with Tommy Rees. I think Notre Dame here, after they are walking into, if you're just going to do handicapping 101, Notre Dame is reeling. They go into the Big House, the first prime-time game in the Big House at Michigan in Ann Arbor. 110,000 Michigan fans going crazy. Brady Hoke looking for an early signature win. You have to like Michigan, so let's play Notre Dame minus the 3 points on the road, right, Drew?
Well, can't argue there with you, Mark. First off, this rivalry, it's a big rivalry, but most recently, unfortunately, it's been more tradition over talent. Frankly, one of the things I'm more looking forward to is the opening where Brent Musburger says, "You are looking live at the first night game in the history of the Big House," than the actual game itself. Not sure which side Brent's going to back. That's always fun watching one of his games. But like you said, I like Notre Dame from the get-go. tough to get a good read. One interesting note on the stats again from the guys over at Covers.com, 70% of the action is coming in on Michigan in this game. Very rare the underdog is backed by that much. Out of over 45 games this week, that is the only game that the underdog is receiving the majority of the action. So I'll back Notre Dame. Forget waking up the Echoes. Let's just hope they wake up this week.
Good point. Those are your picks. You have South Carolina -3 on the road, Mississippi State -6.5 on the road, and Notre Dame -3 on the road in the Big House against Michigan. Guys, let's go make some money.